So I just spent the last 4 hours downloading and making an account with every single investing app that I could find. So every single day for the next month, I'm going to be putting my own money into these brokerages to find which ones are actually easy to use, which ones are secretly charging you, and which are giving you features that are actually useful. And I'm going to be ranking each of these brokerages on a tier list from S to F. I'll see you guys in 30 days from now. All right, so it's been quite a while since I recorded that first part of the video, and I've gotten a chance to use all of these apps. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with Robinhood. Robinhood was the first brokerage I ever had. I actually opened it up on my 18th birthday, and pretty much everyone that I knew in college used Robinhood to invest, and like all the young people that I know. And that's because it is very, very beginner friendly. Buying a stock on a brokerage like Fidelity or Schwab compared to Robinhood feels like you're filing your taxes. And despite receiving a lot of hate, things that the younger generation like mine would think come standards with brokerages are only here because of Robinhood. Back in the day, all the brokerages would charge you $5 to $10 every single time you bought a stock. But then in 2013, Robinhood came with zero commissions, meaning you could buy stocks for free. And by 2019, every single brokerage had to follow them. They also made fractional shares popular. If you wanted to buy something like Amazon, you would need the full $250 to buy the share. But with Robinhood, you can buy just a fraction of it. So you could even just buy $1. You also get instant deposit. So as soon as you transfer money from your bank account to Robinhood, you can immediately buy stocks with it. With a lot of big brokerages, you still have to wait 3 to 5 business days to be able to buy, which makes it hard if a stock drops or something to be able to capitalize on that. Robinhood also gives you before and after hour trading. So if some news comes out after hours, you can go ahead and buy or sell a stock. A lot of brokerages still don't give you that. So I'll go ahead and show you Robinhood. If you open up the app, you can see all the money that you have in it, like total. You can see your different holdings, reoccurring investments, and then your watch list is at the bottom. Those are all just the stocks that you're watching. If you want to buy something, just go to the search tab. I'll buy some Apple, hit buy, and then I will buy $100 of it, and then swipe up. And then just like that, I went ahead and bought Apple that easy. And then it'll be with the rest of my stocks on my main page. Now, all that user friendliness does come with some downsides though. For the most part, I would argue that investing should be boring. For the most part, you should just buy and hold the S&P 500 and then that's it. But Robinhood gamifies things, and a lot of beginners don't understand what they're actually doing. The complexity is hid behind the user interface, and they make things like trading options way too easy. There is also Robinhood's reputation. The whole GameStop debacle a couple years back still haunts them a little bit. And my least favorite thing is the prediction markets they added to Robinhood, which is basically just gambling. You can bet on things like sports game and even the election. But overall, I don't care what anyone says. Robinhood is still S tier. I believe that a couple years ago was their peak, but I still think they're doing great things, and it is still one of the best brokerages to get started with. All right, next up we have Fidelity, and Fidelity is one of the other best brokerages, but it basically takes the opposite approach to Robinhood. Fidelity's been around since the 1940s. It's a bit more old school, and they have every account type you'll ever need, but unlike a lot of the other legacy brokerages, they have done a really good job keeping up as far as UI and features go. If you're more conservative, you can buy things like mutual funds and bonds, which is something that you can't really do on Robinhood. And it also gives you real legit research from like 20 different providers, which you would usually have to pay for. You can also buy fractional shares with Fidelity. And one really cool thing is that they have a cash management account that can substitute for your bank or your high yield savings account. You even get debit card and checks if you want. It gives you, I believe, 3.6 APY on your money sitting in there, which competes with the best high yield savings account and is just a great place to keep a cash reserve or an emergency fund. I'll go ahead and show you Fidelity's app. It shows you the account balance up first, and then if you go down, it'll show you the markets. If you go into your investing tab, you'll have all the different positions that you have. Then you have your watch list, and then if you go over to Discover, it'll show you a bunch of different collections and sectors that you can invest into, and then some research, and then even like some TikTok style shorts sort of, and then some more articles. Now, if you want to buy, just hit that transact button, and then you can go ahead and search. Today, I will be buying some Tesla just for fun, and I'll just go ahead and hit that buy button. I will go buy dollars, and I will buy $200 worth of Tesla. You just hit that preview, buy Tesla, and then just like that, they'll receive your order and it'll be with the rest of your positions. Now, I've always heard Fidelity hyped up for years, but this is the first time I've actually tried it. And I will say the UI is a bit clunkier than I would have expected, but it's still miles ahead of Vanguard or, even Schwab. There's really no downsides with Fidelity. I would think the only one is, I guess it is a little bit more confusing than something like Robinhood, but there's basically nothing to complain about, and this is an easy S tier for me. Also, I went the extra mile to bring you this video. I don't think there's ever been a YouTuber that's made a video like this. All that I ask is that if you're thinking of opening up one of these brokerages, use the links below because you'll get free stocks, and also it helps support the channel. All right, next up we got Webull. And in my opinion, Webull is like, I guess, the Justin Herbert of brokerages. It's not the absolute best, but it is very uncontroversial and pretty much everyone likes them. It's a relatively beginner-friendly app, but it is built for traders, so all the features are going to be tailored to that. You don't actually need any money to open up an account at all, but you will want to deposit some money because Webull generally has some really good sign-up bonuses. I got $100 of free stock when I made an account. They have different offers, but I'll link the best one below. As far as features go, you get the extended hours, you can buy fractional shares, but my favorite thing with Webull is that they have a paper trading mode. I was around a lot of finance bros in college that thought they were day traders and then they would go and lose all their money. And whenever someone tells me that they want to day trade, I always tell them to use a paper account. With paper mode, you're making trades and following the market, but you're using fake money, basically like monopoly money. So you're getting the XP of trading, but you're not losing all your money in the process. If you do decide to go with Webull, I'd get the premium. It's only $3.99, but basically everything's cheaper. You get a cash management account that gives you 3.6 APY and a 3.5% match to your IRA, which is pretty insane. That's like an extra $300 if you max that out. So I'll go ahead and show you Webull. If you go down, you can see all your different positions, your watch list. Then there's like a tab with all their different accounts and then like a robo-advisor. But all you really need is that first tab. If you go to the search button, you can see what's going on with the market, some of the movers, some different sectors, but I'll just go ahead, search Uber, and I will go ahead and buy that. I'll toggle between shares and dollars, and I will just buy $110 of Uber, and then just like that, the order submitted. So yeah, as you can see, super simple app. The only downsides that I've seen is that a lot of the level 2 data and things that you'll need is behind that paywall, so you will have to pay that $3.99, and also customer support can be a little bit slow. But overall, I like Webull, great for traders, clean design, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the B tier. Alrighty, next up we got Charles Schwab, and this is most likely the brokerage that your dad is using right now. It has a great reputation. It's one of the biggest brokerages in the country. They have every account type that you'll ever need. And from what I've seen, the customer service is very good. It's funny, I actually drive by a physical Schwab and then Fidelity location every single day at work. Haven't needed to stop by, but maybe I will one day. You can buy fractional shares with them. And I believe traders actually really like them too, because a couple years ago, they acquired TD Ameritrade, which gave them Thinkorswim, which apparently gives you like the best charts and all that for trading. They also have a paper trading account, so you can practice on there if you're a trader. And just like Fidelity, they have a really good cash management account. You can get a debit card and you can pull money out anywhere in the world, and you're not going to have to pay fees at ATMs. They will reimburse you for that. So if you're in a different country, it's really good for getting different currencies. All right, so I'll go ahead and show you the app. You have your total value first, and then your dashboard will show you all the different holdings that you have. Down a little bit more is the news going around. I can then go over to watch list, and that will show me my holdings, and then the markets will show me again what is going on with the market, all the breaking news. If I want to buy something, I'll just go over to the trade thing in the middle. I'll go ahead and buy Rivian. First, I'll click buy, and then I will go with a market order, and I will buy 2 shares of Rivian, and just like that, I'll go ahead and place an order. Bam, we're good. So as you can see, it's way more overwhelming than something like Robinhood and a little bit more complex than something like Fidelity, but still pretty good. I feel like Schwab is like the Toyota Camry of brokerages. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the A tier. All right, next up we have Public. Public is a new player, and I found that online it's kind of hard to find unbiased reviews on them because they're all sponsored, which is what newer brokerages tend to do. But when they launched, they tried to be like the social investing, like you could see what other people were investing in. That didn't really catch. So for a while, they tried to basically just be Robinhood. That didn't work. So now they're trying to be the place where you can buy every single different asset. The biggest thing that seems to be going for them is they don't use payment for order flow for stock trades, meaning they don't get paid to send your orders to certain companies. So it just makes people feel like they're more on the investor side. They have everything that you'd want from a modern brokerage, but I just feel like they don't have a clear identity, and there's really no reason to use them over something like Robinhood. But I'll go ahead and show you the app. So as you can see, you have your total returns, like pretty much every app shows you. You have your holdings and then all the different things that you can buy, which I talked about. That's like their main thing. You can see what's going on in the market, stocks, cryptos, options, bonds, all that stuff. And then they have Agent, which is like their completely trash AI thing. I feel like every company that's falling off right now is trying to introduce AI. From what I've heard, it's pretty horrible. But anyways, to buy a stock, just hit the trade button, go ahead, hit stocks. I will go and search for Ford. You can then toggle to dollars. If you want to buy fractional shares, I'll buy $100 of Ford because why not? And then just like that, I bought my Ford. So public is fine. They just try to do too much to stand out, like using AI and then having all those different assets that you can buy. I don't know. They're okay. I've never actually met anyone that uses publics. I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in the C tier. I feel like that's fair for them. Okay, next up we have your favorite YouTuber's favorite brokerage, allegedly, and that is MooMoo. Now I'll do a Gemini sponsorship, a Max Reward sponsorship. Maybe I'll even stoop low enough to do a Rocket Money sponsorship one day, but I will never touch MooMoo. Now, I'm mostly kidding. MooMoo actually does have some good stuff, but to be honest, it feels like Alibaba or Temu was shoved into a brokerage, and probably the reason for that is because it's a Chinese company. Now, despite what Caleb Hammer tells you, this is a brokerage for traders and traders only. You do get a lot of cool things like level 2 data, you get some community chat rooms, powerful trading, pretty much everything that a short-term trader would want. And they also don't take money from payment for order flow. And one good thing that I'll say is they usually have a really, really good sign-up bonus. Right now they have 8.1 APY for like 3 months, and then they'll give you up to $1,000 of NVIDIA stock. So maybe it's worth opening up just for that, but I'll show you the app. When I first open it up, it gives me like a Temu style badge, which is kind of annoying. You always get those things, but you can see your watch list there on more. If you go over to more, you can see like the chat rooms and the news and stuff. I'll go ahead and search up Sofi, and then there's a lot of different information about the company. Like I said, like there is some good stuff here if I was a trader, which I'm not. But anyways, I'll just go ahead and do a market order for Sofi. I will buy 2.5 shares, just like that. I bought Sofi, so pretty easy. Now I could be wrong about this because I'm not a trader, but I'd rather just use Webull, or I believe Robinhood Legend is pretty good, their new trading program. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw MooMoo in the D tier. It's just too cluttered and overwhelming. It feels like a cheap Chinese product. Alrighty, next up we have UNC. We have the grandpa of brokerages, and that is Vanguard. They've been around since the 70s, and they pretty much invented the index fund. Index funds like VTI, VOO, and VT are all actually Vanguard ETFs. And while Vanguard is probably one of the most powerful companies in the world, their brokerage is very, very outdated. Basically, their whole shtick is just buying an index fund and then leaving it alone. And that's fine, but they do lack a lot of features. Like you can't buy fractional shares, which means if I wanted to buy something like Berkshire Hathaway, I'd need the full $500. I couldn't buy like half a share or 1.5 shares. Definitely not a brokerage that you're gonna do any trading on. Everything just feels a little bit slow and delayed. Even when you deposit money into it, it's going to take like 5 to 7 days to be able to actually use that money and trade with it. So let's say the market crashes and you want to capitalize that, it's gonna be like a week before you can even get money in there. But I'll go ahead and show you the user interface. I believe it has had a couple facelifts. You have your portfolio, and then there is the research tab. It'll teach you like things about, you know, different, I don't know, stock market stuffs, ETFs. You can like different articles pretty much. If you want to trade, just go to the thing in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and buy some Mary Jane, some Zaza. I'm just going to go ahead and buy 3 shares of it. You guys remember when all the like the weed stocks were popping off a couple years ago? That was pretty funny. But just like that, orders submitted. But yeah, this brokerage is very boring, which might be a good thing. But I don't know. It feels like Aaron Rodgers right now. Like it used to be legendary a while ago, so it feels bad like disrespecting him. But I don't know. It doesn't have any fractional shares, and I just feel like Fidelity is way better, even Schwab. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Vanguard in the C tier. All right, next up, we have something that is a stark contrast to Vanguard, and that is Sofi Invest. Now, before we get into it, I'll say that I am a bit of a Sofi glazer. I use them for pretty much everything. I think they have the best checking and high yield savings account on the market. And this might be a wild take, but I actually think Sofi's UI is the best out of any of the brokerages. Some might not trust Sofi. They have been blowing up a little bit recently. Like their stock has been very popular, but Because they're a public traded company, you can look at all their financials and they look pretty good. And a lot of people don't know this, but they are SIPC insured, which means that your money's safe up to $500,000. Sofi has one of the smoothest automatic invest features, and they will give you an extra 1% on everything that you automatically invest, which, adds up. All right, so I'll go ahead and show you Sofi's user interface. I already have some money in here already, mostly Amazon stock because I thought it was a good buy. But anyways, if you scroll down, you can see your watch list, and then a couple of the different things that you can do. Reoccurring transfers. Sofi also has like the social aspect, so you can see what different people are watching and investing in. If you want to buy, you just click that and then hit the buy and sell, and then that will bring you over to the search. You can see popular stocks, the major markets, and then if you want to search for something, I will just go VOO, which is what you should all be investing in. You can see news on them, and if you want to buy, you can just hit that buy. I will buy $50, and just like that, you have bought. So pretty much as easy as Robinhood to buy a stock, whether that's a good or a bad thing. But I don't know, I like Sofi. I'm going to use them because I really, really like having all my finances in one place, and I trust Sofi. But this isn't going to be the best option for everyone. I probably wouldn't recommend it if you don't already bank with Sofi. And there is a bit of the gamification Robinhood type thing going on. Like, they make it too easy to trade options, and there's like the confetti. When you open up the account, you get a free stock, and there's like an arm that goes down. So there is a bit of that into it too. To be honest, this is probably like a B tier brokerage, but I like it and I use it, and this is my video, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it an A tier. All right, next up we have Merrill Edge, and Merrill Edge is the brokerage that you go with if you're already a Bank of America customer. Like, no one really wakes up and says, hey, I want to open up a Merrill brokerage today, but that's what it's made for. You get transfers instantly between your Bank of America checking account and the brokerage. It intertwines very well. And also, Bank of America has a rewards program where if you have more money with them, you get better loan rates and you get higher percentage on your credit cards. I make a lot of videos on credit cards. I know a lot of people will have move over their Roth IRA to Bank of America just so they can get 5 or 6% cash back. But I would say Merrill's kind of like Vanguard, where it's mostly just the buy and hold ETF. There's no fractional shares. You're not going to be doing any trading on here. And overall, it's just kind of like a little bit of a slow app. I'll show you the app. Full transparency, this is the one that I used by far the least. I had trouble even transferring money into it. But you have your accounts, your dashboard. As you can see, it pretty much just looks like Bank of America. If you want to trade, you can go over, search something up. I'll get some SCHD, another good ETF if you guys are looking for one. And then you just put in the number of shares and then you'll be able to buy. So, it's all right, not super fancy. But not something you're going to go out of the way to open up. I'll just go ahead and throw it in the C tier. All right, next up we have another relatively new player, and that is Acorns. Acorns is pretty much the training wheels of investing. It's what you open up when you have absolutely no idea what you are doing and you don't even want to think about it. Acorns is pretty much for people that have a hard time investing and saving. It does things like rounds up your change and automatically invest it for you, and then every week will take a certain amount from your bank account, whatever you set. I just had it at $5 a week. I like that it does pick some good ETFs for you. I know that a lot of beginners will go and get a Robinhood account and then just invest in Archer or I don't know, Lucid a couple years ago, or some of those marijuana stocks, and just lose all their money. So I like that it does force you to invest in some good ETFs. But that's where the good stops. They make you pay a monthly fee, which is either $3, $6, or $12, depending on what features you get. And you can pretty much do everything that Acorns does by yourself. All Acorns really invests in is VOO, VTI, some bonds, and then total market ETFs. You could literally copy the same portfolio in Robinhood, Sofi, Webull, any of the brokerages I've talked about. Also, they have a whole bank thing that I know some people use, but it has a lot of problems. I'll go ahead and show you the app. So first it'll show you your portfolio and then the potential of what it could be in 40 years. They have the earning where they have brand deals. They have a learning thing where they have mini courses and stuff. And then the investing tab, you'll go and see it's just a couple different ETFs. If you want to choose individual ones, you have to pay extra for that. I'm only paying $3 a month. If I do want to put some extra in investments, I'll just hit transfer in, and then I will load up $100, and then it will automatically invest that for me. Now, I actually think Acorns is really cool. I like the concept. I like the app. I think it's good for beginners. I had some coworkers talking about it the other day, and they actually really like it. But if I'm being honest, the banking's mid. You can do it yourself in 5 minutes, but I don't know. I think I have to throw this in D tier just to be fair. But let me know if you guys like it or you think it belongs in a higher tier. All right, next up we have E-Trade. It's now owned by Morgan Stanley, and I know people that have been using it for 10, 20 years and they've had no problem with it. They have paper trading, some decent analogy tools. It's good for someone that wants to trade options maybe, but doesn't want to go full degen day trading mode. It does have a decent UI and an okay cash management account, but it doesn't have fractional shares, which means that, if you want to buy Tesla, you're going to have to shell out a whole $400. I'll go ahead and show you guys the app. As you can see, it's okay, maybe a little bit clunky, not really my thing. You have your watch list. The market tab will show you what's going on. Got some TV there. But if I want to trade, I'll go ahead to the stock, enter in the ticker symbol. I'll go ahead and buy some Lucid. You guys remember Lucid? I don't even know. They're probably going to go out of business, but I'll just hit buy. I will go 3 shares and then preview. And then just like that, you have bought it. In my opinion, E-Trade is a player that used to be good 10 years ago, but now is still pretty decent, but has kind of tapered off, sort of I guess Kirk Cousins. But I'm going to go ahead and throw E-Trade in the C tier. All right, next up we have Chase self-directed investing, and it kind of has the Merrill thing going on where a lot of people already bank with Chase and they just end up doing their investments with them as well because of convenience. It's good if you're chasing, no pun intended, the Chase private client status, but other than that, a lot of people seem to hate it. Now, I actually didn't mind Chase self-directing at all. I thought it was fairly simple and good. You can buy fractional shares. Maybe it's because I've had so many credit cards with Chase, I'm just used to the user interface, but I actually didn't mind Chase investing at all. Now, I did see a lot of people complaining about Chase just overall being a little bit slow in their user interface laggy, and that if you cancel a trade, that money is locked up and you won't get it till the next day, which is valid, but I don't know. I'll show you the UI. So at the top, you have your portfolio value, your profit and losses, and then it'll just show you your asset allocation. It'll show you your different positions, watch list. And then if you want to go trade, just hit the trade button, search up. I will invest in some Pepsi today just because I feel like it. Buy, market order. I will switch to dollars and buy $5 of Pepsi. So as you can see, it is pretty simple. It's not overwhelming like some of the big ones. So I don't really know why people hate it as much. Maybe I'm missing something here, but I'm going to throw it in the B tier. Alrighty, last up, we have M1 Finance. And this is a hot take, but I actually don't really like M1 Finance. I think the whole pie thing is annoying, and I wouldn't want to say confusing, but just unnecessary. M1 used to have a lot of fans a couple years ago, but I feel like it's kind of dying off. Basically, it's made for the investor that just wants to set something up and then never have to think about it again. I'll show you in the app, but what you basically do is build a pie with a bunch of different stocks and then ETFs, and then when your money goes in automatically, it will be dispersed between those different ones, and then I believe it will buy up the ones that have dipped. Now, a couple of years ago, this was kind of new and a lot of people liked it, but now Fidelity has the basket portfolios. There's Schwab stock slices, and I feel like now there's just a lot of other brokerages with fractional shares, reoccurring investments, and just better support and then research. Here's the app here. You can see the M1 net worth, all the different sort of things they have. They have a page advertising for loans and a cash account, but here's the pie thing. Now, mine is mostly SPY and then a couple other ones, but if you want to add something to your pie, you go ahead and click stocks, and then I will search up Sofi again, and I will add that to my portfolio. That is the main one, and I will go ahead and do 5%. Now, I have to make it equal 100, so I'm going to reduce SPY from 96 to 91, and then if I go ahead and save that and confirm and go back to my main pie, Sofi will now have a slice in that. Overall, I think M1 is pretty niche. If you're a kind of person that wants to make a pie and then just auto invest in it, I guess this could be S tier, but I think for the average investor, I'm going to go ahead and throw this into C tier. Like I mentioned, if you use the links below, you'll get free stock, and it also really helps support the channel. I don't think I've ever seen anyone go to this lengths to make a video on brokerages before.